What did I learn about her is that I don't know her female crush other than J-Lo, but that's not really a true crush. She has more guy crushes than girl crushes.
Do you feel like this podcast is kind of a form of couples therapy, even though it's not a safe place? It is kind of a safe place in that it's just the two of you in a room and maybe your producer, right?
Yeah. No.
It is not a safe space.
Wait, she's answering the question and I'm answering your question of yes, it's just us and our producer.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Our two producers.
I hear what, and everyone on the Zoom, because there was like 16 people on the Zoom.
Yeah, right. I hid them all, so I can't.
I'll tell you, this is how they get you, because you do feel comfortable. You're like, oh, I'm at home and there's nobody else here. And now I'm going to say something. That's why podcasting feels. And that's why you felt like you were on our couch with us, which we love and we want. I do feel like there is an element of couples therapy, air quotes, couples therapy, just because it's forcing us to have like sat down communication, but we also have real couples therapy. Yeah. So that's really when we go to town on that stuff.
Totally. That's a real safe space, not to the millions of listeners.
Is it though? Because you're doing couples therapy. So you still got to be aware what you're saying.
Raven's like the only safe space is Raven with all of her pastels in an art room and her watercolors with no one else around. That's a safe space.
I like that. Yeah, everyone's got to have their safe space. I love that. What does, other than podcasting together, living together, what does date night look like for you guys? And do you carve out that time still 3 years in? Because I know me and my husband are 10 years in and it's hard to make that time.
It's definitely hard to make that time. We're learning how to do that. Date night right now consists of watching all of the MI Mission Impossible series one night at a time. But we're only on number 1. We're working to find number 2. So we can finally get to what are we on, 16 with him now? But I think that it takes time. And right now, we're so focused on the career. Miranda is knee deep in podcast life. I'm knee deep in directing and business. But we also have this really base understanding that what we're doing is for the betterment for our future. Mm-hmm. And we share those kind moments with each other at lunch and we do those things. So we might not have date night. Date night might turn into a technical discussion about what something needs to look like in the morning. But I think our core knows why we're doing this and that we have the rest of our lives to vacay and enjoy date night once we get this grinding done.
What is one thing that you each learned about each other? I mean, I know even in the first episode you learned stuff about each other, but what's one thing that really surprised you about each other?
One thing that really surprised me about Raven is the fact that she likes her theme songs. When we were selecting the theme song for this podcast, Raven, that was kind of what Raven's one thing. I had been kind of running ship. This is really my baby. But Raven was like, look, when it comes to the music, you gotta let me. So I was like, okay, totally. So we had all these options and we were listening and we both heard this song and we were like, yes. And it's just, every time we listen to it when we start an episode, we're just banging our heads and bopping.
Shout out to Jordan Katz.
Yeah. And I love it. We both love it. But I said to her in one of our episodes, I was like, I'm so glad that we finally have the theme song you love. And she was like, what are you talking about? I love all my theme songs. And I said, really? Because my experience of walking down the street with you when somebody starts going, that's so right. But I guess that's kind of obnoxious.
That's different. Somebody singing it randomly at my face is different than I've been a part of the pick of every single one of my theme songs. And it's been a pleasure to be able to work with artists. And yes, when someone is like walking towards me in the street,
I get it.
It's totally different, but it also warms my heart because there's such planning and conversation and creativity rolling around in the zone when it comes to a theme song that it's so pleasurable to see that it smacks when anyone listens. Raven's Home, That's So Raven. I vividly remember the journey I had when I made those. And
so what's something that you learned about me?
Oh, something that I learned about you. Get off of it, Raven.
How much she loves her theme song, she'll just go on forever and ever.
I love it. I was into this, but yeah.
What did I learn about her is that I don't know her female crush other than J-Lo, but that's not really a true crush. She has more guy crushes than girl crushes.
Oh, my other girl crush would be, if it's not, well, J-Lo isn't my... J-Lo's different.
I told you.
It's Sarah, like a real crush is Sarah Ramirez.
Oh, okay. I got it. I learned something new on your cast now.
Well,